Look. Osgiliath burns.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Asmagon, and long time no see on the video front.
Come on, come in!
And some quick updates just to throw them out there as we kind of start this little video here. Warglaive is progressing at a good pace. I have got plenty of updates on the Discord, although Discord situations are kind of a little shaky right now. Thankfully they've recently delayed their decision to implement the teenager by default, I think is the name. Hopefully they make the wise and correct decision of just canceling that outright, but we'll see. I have my doubts. Usually when a decision like this is made on a higher corporate end for this level of surveillance they want to put on people, it's usually not rescinded. They're just going to try and delay it and hope that people forget, and it's the internet, so it wouldn't surprise me if we did. A lot of people tend to forget pretty severe things with enough time and enough other distracting controversy. But that is a bit of me being black-pilled. Perhaps I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. Irregardless, those two small things aside, technically one thing mainly. But as you guys kind of see before me, I have some Lord of the Rings stuff in front of me. The tabletop game made by GW. I did not buy these from GW, by the way. I bought these on eBay. As I understand it, this box is actually missing some parts, so hopefully I can green stuff that. This one's new in plastic, as you can see, but I got it at secondhand from a gentleman who seemed very eager to get rid of some old box sets that he apparently had no intention of doing anything with. I'm sure a lot of older hobbyists who are getting in and out of the hobby can relate. But yeah, you're probably wondering, Asmo, why do you got the Middle-earth Battles strategy game in front of you? What's going on?
What's that?
Well, I recently decided to work on a little side project, hobbyist-wise. Mainly because I really need like a form of escapism. I really need that. I know this is an overused term, but I really need a mental health kind of deviation from like my normal workflow of just Warglaive or stuff like that. And I get that a little bit when I play some video games with friends. Currently I'm playing World of Warcraft Mists Classic. I prefer TBC Classic before anyone gets on my butt about that, but I've been playing Mists because my best friend, or one of my best friends, Ludus Infinium, he has his own channel. He's a great guy. You should check him out. He's a very earnest person. But he prefers Mists, and I do want to play with my friends. So I do hang out with him, and I do play Mists Classic for him. But I definitely would say when it comes to World of Warcraft, I prefer TBC. And if you're someone who's quit WoW, stay quit. I'm an addict. I don't want to flaunt crack at anybody. Stay away. Stay away if you can. If you can't and you really need it, just don't go to retail. I know Midnight just dropped, but really don't. But anyway, back on topic for actually what we're talking about. Recently, I kind of was going over in my mind a lot of things. I've been having some depressing spikes at times. There's a lot going on politically with my country, with traditionally allied countries, and a lot of big politics stuff, which off the bat is a mistake to hyper-focus on too much because it does what it has been doing to me. It depresses you. Like when you look at the big picture too much, you oftentimes only see the black and white of it. You really need to look at the small picture to find the color, to find the good stuff. And, you know, I've always found Lord of the Rings and like Middle-earth and like hobbyist projects like these always soothing, but lately 40K hasn't been as much of that for me. Too much of the culture war has been dragged into that, a lot of it, and it's turned what's normally and traditionally something that really relaxed me and really gave me some foundation and kind of took it away from me a little bit. And I haven't quit the hobby necessarily. I've quit buying from GW directly. But yeah, 40K is just, I can't really engage with it right now without feeling like I kind of have to force myself to. It's bit me in the butt a bit too much. So I kind of went over in my head. It's like, hey, what's this? What's like a universe or setting or something that really does still feel like an escape? That feels like it's taking me somewhere that is far, far away from the troubles of my personal life, but also the troubles of the big scale, troubles of the politics and the crazy stuff going on. And usually, what I fall back to is Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is probably the ultimate fantasy and escape from reality. And unlike things like 40K or Star Trek or similar properties, they haven't been ruined necessarily. I know Rings of Power exists, but let's be honest, Rings of Power is nothing. Like not a single person in the Lord of the Rings fandom that's actually a fan, I should say, considers it canon or considers it even valid, and definitely doesn't consider it Tolkien. It's just a joke. It's an Amazon joke that it's a multi-billion-dollar joke that's not even funny. So yeah, thankfully I would say that Lord of the Rings has the purest iterations of it in terms of film, and in terms of the books. The books are still amazing to this day. I mean, it's fantastic what Tolkien did. It really is. So for me, like, that's still a big source of escapism. Is Lord of the Rings, is Middle Earth, and is that setting and that universe. And I've never really traditionally engaged with the tabletop aspect of it, despite being a 40K person and knowing that GW produced a tabletop war game for Lord of the Rings. I never really engaged with it. Not necessarily because I didn't have any interest. I've always had kind of an interest in it. It's just, around where I live, nobody plays the Lord of the Rings Middle Earth strategy battle game. Nobody plays it. And I've asked around. I know there's a couple guys who play War Machine. There's a huge group of 40K players and a medium-sized group that plays Age of Sigmar. But I've asked around at my LGS, but the two LGS I frequent, and neither community, neither group knew of anybody who really collected or played Middle Earth strategy battle. And I was kind of depressed by that a little bit, but at the same time, I still wanted to get a set of these and do something with it. But the real struggle was thinking, okay, what's my excuse though? Like, getting all these miniatures to not play the tabletop game feels kind of terrible. Yeah, they're fun painting project, but what happens when I'm done painting all of the Minas Tirith warriors? Well, I'm done painting the Rangers, or I'm done painting everything. What then? Well, I thought about it, and what came to mind was maybe a diorama. I've never done like a proper diorama for the hobby, my hobbyist space for tabletop miniatures or war games or anything. I always thought it was like this big grandiose thing that looked fun and looked like a really cool project, really let yourself go and escape into, but it always looked so daunting, something that felt too grandiose. Like, I was like, I could do like a fancy miniature base, right, and add like a lot of layers to that and make it look like I'm encapsulating a miniature in the middle of like a really epic battle on an alien world. But to scale that out to a proper like battlefield, to a proper terrain, always felt like it was just a couple steps out of my league. But with all my years of experience with painting minis and being in the hobby, and with YouTube having as many tutorials as it has, it finally occurred to me, why not give it a shot? I mean, worst case scenario, I make something not too amazing, but it's a first time project, and it can be fun. It's a good way to escape both from the real world, but also from my own troubles, and kind of engage in something that feels like a pure escapist and hobbyist thing. And I've really needed that. I really have. And people might say, like, well, what about Warglaive? Warglaive is a bit of a job right now in itself. Like, there's so many tasks I gotta do. There's so many things I have on my shoulders to do with that. It's hard to see that as a hobbyist, escapist thing. That's why it's actually hard to work on for more than a couple hours each day. Outside of just the fact that I have a day job, and that takes me away from home and limits my work hours. But, and as the old saying goes, all work and no play makes a dull boy. I think it'd make a very depressed boy. So that's why I need something like this. Something that doesn't have any stakes to it, that doesn't have any stress, that doesn't have any weight, but has like layers to it, has these complex elements to it, that has this level of engagement and dedication to it, and I really need it. Now, I kind of had that when I was building my gun range on our property here, but it's winter time and the snow is not going to melt for some time. In fact, yesterday we had a snowstorm, so the snow's, it's going to be a while. And then when mud season hits, that's what we call springtime here in New England, by the way. We call it mud season because it's just mud. It's gross. But yeah, that's definitely a project I want to do down the range that's kind of similar to this, in the sense that it's this thing I can do with my hands. It's very escapist. It allows me to do something relaxing. But this is a kind of something that's still kind of friendly to do indoors and with the bad weather and the bad conditions outside. And it's still got that physical element to it. I mean, I got these nice wooden boards that I'm going to cut up into portions to make the little blocked out sections of this diorama I'm doing, which I know I'm rambling here. I guess I should really specify what's the diorama, what's the Lord of the Rings diorama I want to do. I decided on Osgiliath.
Watch out!
And before anyone throws this out there, I'll throw it out first. I know there's a YouTube channel and a YouTuber by the name of Zorpazorp out there who is big on YouTube as somebody who did like the biggest Osgiliath diorama. I think he also did Minas Tirith, and I might be mistaken, but I think he's done Helm's Deep. Like, the guy is known for making these huge vistas and these huge battle maps and these huge dioramas of these iconic scenes from Lord of the Rings, and I think that's really cool. But full disclosure, I did not know Zorpazorp existed prior to coming up with this idea. I found out Zorpazorp existed when I started YouTube, because I figured other people had done like an Osgiliath or a Helm's Deep or any kind of diorama. I figured someone out there had to have. I mean, come on. It's the wargaming hobbyist space. People put on these big projects all the time. But when I found Zorpazorp and saw like how big like everything he was and how grandiose he did, it was fantastic, by the way. Like, absolutely amazing. Now, am I going to be recreating what he made to a T? No. In fact, again, the whole idea with this was I'm not like copying somebody else's work. I'm trying to come up with like the ideas myself. And like, obviously there's only so much deviation you can do on the same idea, but I do think I can do it. And I do want to do my own spin on it. It's not going to look identical to the films, and it probably won't look identical to the book. But what I'm aiming for is, in spirit, Osgiliath, but kind of my take on the same idea. I will be referencing the movie heavily, because that's like our main visual to work with, right? But my goal is not to copy or to follow anyone else's path. If I by happenstance copy or do things similar to, like, let's say Zorpazorp or any other very talented diorama builders on YouTube, then just know it wasn't planned that way. It wasn't because I was going too close to the same references. It's just pure happenstance. So I just want to make that clear, because I do know that there is other people who have done this. I don't think what I'm doing with this little project is unique, nor do I think it is going to be like the best thing ever. I'm going to make it as best as I can possibly make it, and I don't want to undersell what I'm doing here, but at the same time I don't want to oversell it. I don't want to tell you guys, oh, I'm going to make the best diorama ever, it's going to look even better than Zorpazorp, or it's going to look even better than so-and-so other creators out there who've done the same idea. No, this is my first diorama. I'm actually learning things pretty fresh and pretty new as I go about things. So just keep that in mind. As a series, this really isn't meant to be... the video aspect of it isn't really meant to be this big series that's overly edited and has this crazy thing. I'm not doing this for views, and I'm not doing this for any kind of exposure. I'm doing this... I'm documenting and doing it for YouTube because it's more of a why not situation. My channel's monetized. Might as well put some videos up if I'm going to be doing it anyway. So... yeah, I'm going to be documenting my progress on it, but the idea with it, again, is not that I'm going to be breaking any kind of YouTube records, or I'm even going to get great views on this little documented series. I just want to document it a little bit because I think people might find it interesting to watch. I might also get some good feedback if, like, at a particular point I'm, like, stumped, or I did something wrong, or I have to restart. You know, I have a good frame of reference. So like, there's multiple benefits to uploading videos of me working on it, and feedback and like advice is one of them. But yeah, I guess I might be over-explaining it at this point, but that's like the general idea. Is I'm working on this project on the side. Figured I might film it and record it and work on it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it and get a kick out of it. And even if you don't, hopefully at the very least you got some advice for me if you've done big diorama projects yourself. But just I guess a quick like overview of what I'm working on and what like the next plan is. You won't see me actually putting anything too much together in this recording, I don't think. This is me just more or less announcing I'm working on it, but just as an initial start to the documentation. My plan right now is to take these chunks of insulation foam my family has left over from when we built our daycare. I'm going to take that, I'm going to create a frame with some wood. This was actually not bought at Home Depot or Tractor Supply or any kind of business like that. We have our own wood processor on property. My dad built it, and he was very kind and very generous enough to, because I just mentioned offhanded what I was planning on doing. And he's like, oh, you know, what kind of materials do you need to build something that big? And I went, oh, well, you know, I got to build a wood frame for everything. I got to get some flat sheets of wood, and then from there build off of that. It's to hold everything together and give it like a firm foundation. I just kind of explained it over dinner one night, and he was very kind and kind of without much talking to me. The next day, he just kind of drops these off down here, and he's like, measure them out. Tell me what you need to cut. I'm like, okay. So big thanks to my dad for helping me out with this. And yeah, so I'm gonna build that wood frame. I'm gonna be borrowing some power tools for that. I'm trying to buy my own right now, but you know how it goes. Once the frame is built and I have a flat wood top, which unfortunately I do need to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever to get, because my dad can't do big flat boards, but he can do logs and stuff like that into chunks like that. And then I'm gonna do a foundation on top of that flat board wood with this insulation foam. Once the insulation foam is down, which I will carve up into certain segments, that's just like gonna be like the base. From there, we gotta put on buildings and stuff. So what am I gonna be doing for buildings? Well, I'm saving up money on the side right now, but the plan is I'm going to get a filament printer. The plan is Bamboo Labs P1S. My dad has one, but obviously he uses it for his own side projects, and I don't want to take up too much of his materials and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna be buying myself a FDM printer. I have resin printers for smaller, more detailed models, but those are currently out of commission. I tried to repair them, but there's something pretty wrong with them. I think I might need to get replacements. But yeah, for a couple examples. So one example of the FDM printer's kind of abilities is something like this. This is one part of a tower for Osgiliath. Now, it's not a damaged tower necessarily, so I do need to either create damages myself onto this, or I'm going to be modeling some of my own stuff in Blender to create damaged terrain, damaged towers, broken buildings, because Osgiliath is a citadel that has been tarnished, has been very worn-torn, so it should have a lot of very damaged buildings. So I'm definitely gonna be doing that with a lot of FDM printing. I'm not sure about like the actual like dirt terrain on top of like the foam and doing all that stuff. That I'm definitely gonna have to YouTube and tutorial up, but I think I can do it. It's just a matter of buying the right materials and following the right instructions to the letter. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a long-term project. I'm not setting myself a firm deadline. Again, this is something to do on the side when I need a break from Warglaive, or when I need to do something with my hands. So, you know, playing a video game like World of Warcraft with my friends isn't, you know, satisfactory. I need to just step away. And I think this is going to be a good way to do that. And it's also going to be really fun to paint the minis. I'm excited to put them together. I'm doing, of course, Minas Tirith Warriors, Rangers. I also got the Battle Host for Minas Tirith and the Mordor Battle Host. So I'm going to be also getting a lot of orcs. You're going to need that for the diorama to look right, you know? But yeah. All of this to say, this is a project that's happening in the background. Hopefully you guys will tune into it if you're curious and if you're interested, or if you just want to follow it because you might have some advice because you've done this kind of thing before. I would appreciate it on all fronts, and hopefully you guys are having a wonderful, lovely day. Hopefully you guys are interested, and I will catch you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.